Welcome, everyone. It's this next round of the season, round 15, this time at Fairbury Speedway for the VDRA Late Model Series. After a couple tussles last week, we had an amazing race for these drivers, and heading on to the next round, heading to an even shorter track, this time a quarter of a mile track at Fairbury Speedway. Hudson's was actually fairly entertaining for its small track, as short as it is. Fairbury even tighter, a little bit more of a bullring track, but a much wider turn. We'll see if these drivers can tackle it here, and especially with Travis Beckner back on the racetrack for these drivers. My name is Finney Nakuna here with, actually not Connor Horn, but Kyle Heyer. Kyle, glad to have you back in the booth with me in what feels like forever.
Oh yeah, it's been a little while. Feels like a homecoming in some ways, right? Not, more than ways than one, I'd suppose, also, because we're here at Fairbury. This is only about 100 miles away from where I am here in Chicago for this Prairie Dirt Showcase. So excited to be back, fitting for some heat racing on the dirt.
Yeah, absolutely glad to have you back with me for some great dirt action. Last time I think you had it with me was at the beginning of the series at one of the Triple Crown events, and now back here again for some more action. 12 drivers here, unfortunately had to miss out on qualifying due to a couple issues ahead with the stream. But taking a look at your qualifying results for just a split second, Travis Beckner taking the pole. Not too surprising with the season he's had.
Yeah, I think Travis Beckner, as always, has been so impressive. 6 wins on the season so far, 13 top 10s. It's going to be pretty hard to knock someone like that off the top step. But Jaden Freiberger as well, he's got a win in the column. But Clayton Johnson has 2, and then Tyler Gary 4 wins, but has only made about half the races. And Finney, you got to be consistent. You got to make it to the grids if you want to compete for a championship.
That's absolutely what you need to make sure you get that. You need to get the points. You need to perform week in, week out, and Travis Beckner has definitely been the one to do so. We'll be starting on pole position here for heat number 1. I believe the first of 2 heats we will have here tonight. Moving on next to him, Bryce Senizak, a very good qualifying effort from him. Typically, we see him around the midfield, a little bit further back. Now up in second, has a chance to maybe snatch a win here in the heats from Travis Beckner. Moving on back, a new driver, Jake Witherspoon, in the number 04. First time he's racing in this series. Next to him on the outside, 4th place, Ryan Swan in the 20. Jacob Bell lined up in 5th in the 77, with Ben Punkari rounding out our field of 6 drivers tonight.
Yeah, pretty good grouping of drivers here. 6 lined up in 3 pairs of 2, and we'll see how the track is with that outer line. Still pretty fresh dirt up there, fitting. Here we go.
Here we go. Travis Beckner jumping over the berm in the middle of the corner, and green flags out. Off and away he will go. An immediate run into turns 1 and 2. Bryce Senizak, though, poor start. Already back to 3rd, almost back to 4th.
Yeah, already, and Ryan Swan went to the very top side, a little bit sideways there out of turn 4, up into between the Punkari car and the 09 of Ryan Swan, but already searching for grip of that way outside line. A little contact there, and Punkari now shuffled to the bottom.
Shuffled back and struggling, and you see these drivers struggling to get these cars rotated. That was one thing I definitely noted when I was trying to shoot footage for this event, was that it is so hard to get this thing rotated, and Bryce Senizak, that was a big trouble for him. You see Ryan Swan struggle there, and now Jacob Bell taking advantage to the inside.
Yeah, it's certainly tricky, especially when the track is really loose dirt like this. You kind of skate across the surface, you can't really grip up, but you see Ryan Swan now on that higher lane, getting up into the cushion, pushing forward on the outside of Jacob Bell in the 77. Bell on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to go the short way around. Very short lap and a wide course, and that means that the radii difference between the inside and outside is enormous.
And meanwhile, up ahead, Travis Beckner, a huge lead, almost a straightaway away from Jake Witherspoon, who's also kind of broken away from the rest of the field. This is where most of the action is here. Back for 3rd. Look at Ryan Swan around the outside, trying to get a run, can't quite get there. And actually, I take that back, he will get there.
Yeah, Ryan Swan looking really impressive. He's the first driver to jump up the outside groove, and it's working for him to move Ryan Swan up to 3rd place, but it's too little too late for the heat victory here, because Travis Beckner is going to pick up the white flag.
White flag, and he's already into 3 and 4, a huge lead ahead of the rest of the field, and he will take home a demanding victory here. Jake Witherspoon back in 2nd for 3rd. Ryan Swan will just hold off, and Bryce Senizak in the wall, and he will come across the line backwards just ahead of Brent Punkari. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's one way to finish the heats, I suppose. Wow. And go ahead, Finney. That was pretty dicey stuff there.
Pretty dicey stuff, and we saw that outside lane absolutely dominant. Ryan Swan, he found it. It took a little while to get things going in that lane. Once he did, able to push extremely hard and take that victory. Well, not victory, but take 3rd place. But he had a lot of pace there towards the end of that.
Yeah, really impressive. And he was on the outside immediately. He did not waste any time jumping up to that cushion and just riding it around. It took him a second to figure it out because the grip level changes so much from the inside to the outside. But forgot how short the laps are here, only 12-second laps. So these laps go by. It doesn't leave you a lot of opportunity to move forward, so you have to pounce on the starts. And it really makes qualifying and these heat races important for the feature race later.
Definitely does make it important for later. Looking at our field for our second and final heat of the evening. Taking a look at Casey Borgmeyer starting in the 101 in first place. Moving on back to second will be Carter Koop in the 52. Back in third will be Ryan Zabot in the number 10, and David Weishart, who I think might be making one of the first starts this season. If not, I think only a couple starts for him. It's glad to see him on the racetrack here in VDRA. Casey Licata starting back in fifth with Jacob York in the 97, lining up in sixth.
Yeah, no David Weishart on the entry list so far this year, so this is his first go. And now it's time to get Heat 2 underway here. Casey Borgmeyer on the front row for it. And again, I really like being on the front row here. It just, with these heats being so short, there's not really much time for anyone to catch you off that launch. So if you're quick enough to get pole, I think you're quick enough to win the heat. We'll see if Carter Koop or Ryan Zabot can do much about it.
Yeah, we saw Travis Beckner pretty much walk away with it in heat number 1. Heat number 2, we'll see what they have in store, waiting for the green, or for the jump at the very least. And Carter Koop immediately working on the outside. A very poor start for Borgmeyer, who's still trying to get up to speed. Carter Koop trying to see if he can work that outside lane. We saw Ryan Swan do it, but not quite yet there. And he's still working it.
Yeah, but watch him get the drive off of turn 4 there and tuck up underneath. I think the risky call is to go to the bottom here. I think the outside's really where the grip is. You see Borgmeyer throttle up now off into turn 3. And again, it's side by side for the top spot, but Carter Koop digging right now. They're side by side off into the turn.
Yeah, I think if Carter Koop can hold on to this, will be his first heat win of the season. Still working to the inside of Borgmeyer, but it's so hard. That drive out the corner works so well. Borgmeyer using that to his advantage.
Yeah, Koop gaining a little ground there, but again, the outside, I think, is the way to win this thing. But Koop really sideways on the bottom. He got to kill the momentum there, and here comes Zabot to the outside, and he's going to pounce on the 52.
Trying to work that. Now Carter Koop still stuck on the bottom, finally goes up to the top. We'll see if he'll hang on there. No, he'll still work to the bottom. Zabot trying to go even lower in the corner.
Man, there's so much angle on the bottom there, and Borgmeyer going to use that much higher momentum and speed, and carries it around. 3 laps to go, coming to 2.
And interesting, as soon as he got clear, he's back to the bottom. I think he's just trying to make sure, cut Carter Koop off, make sure he can try to get around him, because that's the only way he's going to be able to work it. Carter Koop here, a couple laps, really only a lap and a half remaining. White flag in the air. Does he have anything left for the 101?
Yeah, have to be one more big send. Maybe he gets into him a little bit. If he could just throttle him down into 3, but he's not going to be close enough to do it, Finian.
Not going to be close enough. Oh, Borgmeyer messes up in 4. It almost had a last turn pass, but it'll be Borgmeyer taking the win in heat number 2. Koop, Zabot, Weishart, Licata, and York will be how they finish up.
Checker flag, Borgmeyer, Koop, Zabot, as you pointed out. And those heat victories are going to be really important for this feature race. I think there's just so much importance on the qualifying order from what we've seen in this very, very short event so far. 50-lap feature, so there's more laps than we saw there, Finian, but again, the track's going to change a lot, and I think the outside is going to be the place to be, with these tight radius corners.
Yeah, and that's really what's, I think, throwing a lot of people up. And in some of the other tracks, most of the other tracks, you're able to modulate, with the throttle, kind of get the thing to rotate. If you push the throttle and these things around this particular track, you're just going to go flying up from the wall. And we saw a couple drivers struggle with that, like Bryce Senizak early on. So you're going to have to kind of play with the brake a little bit to get the car to rotate that pivot in point into the corner, get that rotation. And the big thing, too, we've seen, especially throughout most of the tracks this season, is the wear. Once this track wears out, to see how it'll change. With drivers already struggling for grip, I can't imagine how it's going to be 45 laps down the road.
Yeah, again, I think we've seen drivers immediately go to the top side. Now, some of the tracks that we've been to so far this year, Finney, we watched the beginnings of the race. You're going to go to the bottom, and you're going to try to use up that short inside line when there's grip down there. But we saw in the first heat that Ryan Swan didn't waste any time. He went to the top. It took him a couple laps to kind of get the legs under him. But once he was up there, I mean, he was pretty unstoppable. So we'll see what the lap times look like once we wear it in from the warm-up here as well. We got all the cars on the racetrack kind of setting the track in. But again, I do think it's going to be challenging to make the bottom work after about 10, 15 laps of this race.
Yeah, Carter Coop definitely a driver to watch. We've seen a couple drivers get their name, get in the wins column. I think with the 52, with the speed he had initially, if he can get it to work, get that car in the right place, and if something happens to Travis Beckner, definitely might be able to put some in the air. And even Jake Witherspoon here for a debut, looking pretty strong. He also broke out from the rest of the pack in that first heat, was sort of hanging with Travis Beckner. So this it might be definitely one to watch because no one here for the most part. I don't think really anyone's raced against him here. So. Different car in the mix and a decent driver in the mix. We'll see how he can do it, if he can maybe get a win in his debut race.
Yeah, a lot to learn, I'd say, with a new group of guys, especially in this controlled chaos you call the dirt race, right? So everyone's got to have a little bit of competition to make sure they have a successful event. But, you know, 11, 12 entries in a 50-lap race, this is pretty frantic. It's tight quarters. See, wow, big contact there on the inside. So I think, you know, drivers that have the experience racing not only at these tracks, but with this group like Travis Beckner definitely have the upper hand. But we'll see how things pan out here. 50 laps, it's going to go by very quick at 12 seconds a pop.
Yeah, these races have been very quick. You know, we were used to 50 laps on all. We see Jacob, going to the porta potty. Oh, that's not good. But we're used to seeing for these, you know, at the bigger ovals, especially where we know most of these drivers from, you know, 50 laps, it's quite a while to work out a strategy, you know, get things going, try to make things work in your direction. 50 laps here, though, it's about 15 minutes and change if we go green. And quite a few of the previous races we've had have gone green. Pretty much all the way, other than a caution or two here and there to stop things out. But otherwise, these are very quick, and these laps are going to fly by. And that's where you mentioned qualifying too, and the heat finishes as well. That's going to be a big factor. You know, we only have 12 cars here tonight, but still, from 12th to the front, it takes a lot of work.
It does, and I think that was the point that I brought up earlier, was that qualifying seemed really important in the heats. If you started in the back and finished in the back, you just didn't have enough time to move forward. So you just have to take advantage of the starts and be aggressive early on, but you have to be aggressive in a way that is, you know, sustainable. Because if you can find a bunch of time on the bottom, that's great, but as soon as you have to go up to the top, you're going to lose your advantage. You have to be adaptable and be able to tackle any change in the surface and really be the best. This is why I think I love the transition of the racetrack is, okay, fine, you can find time on the bottom, but once the bottom isn't sustainable anymore, then everyone's up top. You got to be better than everybody else. You can't just have one little thing that you're good at. You need to be better at everyone everywhere.
And that's why this driver in particular, Travis Beckner, has been one of the best drivers this season, is that he's been very adaptable. I say that as he's missing a little bit of a wing, and that definitely takes some adaptability, but it's really hard to rub these things out a wing on as you get ready for the main event. But it's because he's been able to go from the top to the bottom, know when to transition, because he's puts in hundreds of laps every time we go to one of these tracks, and it definitely shows out there.
So checkered flag here on the warm-up 50-lap feature race. You know, it's going to be under 15 minutes in theory. It shows about 10 minutes. If with a 12-second lap time, that sounds about right to me. Now, if we get any yellows, it'll slow things down, Finian. But this is going to be pretty rapid fire. I don't think you can afford to hang out and wait for the track to come to you. You've got to be aggressive right off the gate. Just don't get yourself in the fence trying to do that.
And then that's the big thing too, is, you know, we always the old moniker, to finish first, you must first finish. And especially with the new damage model, what we've seen with these, or I guess no, it's now the current damage model across all cars in iRacing, is that these cars are very sensitive to damage, especially, you know, hanging out that right side, the right front, the right rear, heading to the wall. You pick up some damage, your car is almost completely done for. And especially we saw the rear wing, it's not terribly big. Actually, I take that back. It's a decent wing on the back of these things. Provides a lot of downforce for cornering these things. If you lose that, you lose so much grip in the rear of these cars, and definitely something to keep in mind. This is not a demo derby. You got to keep that thing clean.
Got to keep it clean. You're right. And let's say that this was a real Saturday night short track race. I would hardly had enough time to go get fries and come back. I mean, there's not much time in between these things without having a water truck go out there and, you know, the people shout about the 50-50 raffle ticket, whatever the nonsense is. So they keep it nice and concise here at VDRA, and iRacing in particular between the heats.
Yeah, not a lot of downtime. These guys getting ready to go. 50 laps on the board, 12 drivers on the roster. We'll see, can Travis Beckner get yet another victory to his name for this season? Or will it be someone else? If it is someone else, it'll be a first-time winner. So we'll see what we have in store. Pace truck off to pit lane. Field and control of Travis Beckner. Off he will go. Green flag in the air here at Fairbury.
Nice, tidy start for the most part. Beckner immediately to the bottom of the racetrack, and Carter Coop right up to the top. Ryan Swan was in that bottom lane. He was the driver that was experimenting with the top side early, but has not done that in the opening segment of this race. So Beckner leads lap number 1, and now the 20 on doing the opposite of what he did in the heat, spinning it right to the tires.
Yeah, right to the tires, almost a little bit too much, because as you can see there's a little bit of that berm there, so you actually go up the opposite direction. Instead of banking into the turn, you get the camber out. So you can ride it a little bit, but it's gonna slow you down with the rotation. Travis Beckner in the lead, but mostly everyone, at least near the front, everyone very close to the inside. He's even Beckner almost hitting the tire barriers.
Yeah, there's a lot of different lines right now, but that adaptability we talked about is going to come into play a little later when the track gets slicked off. But again, with a slightly smaller field size, as we watch this battle here for the 0-4 Witherspoon and Swan, I don't know how quick the track is actually going to transition here, but Witherspoon in the middle, Swan on the bottom.
Well, with everyone running the inside lane as they are, that lane's going to get torn up pretty quickly. I would imagine Carter Coop up into 3rd place, up from 4th. And looking to see if he can take the inside away. Oh, gotta watch out, Carter. You see, and when you miss that rotation, you lose so much time. The car gets bogged down, and you have to struggle to get this thing rotated left. It doesn't want to turn left. It wants to slide right, is really the best way to describe it. So it's very hard to get this thing back in the right direction. But you see the top 5, a little bit of a breakaway. Ryan Zabot and Jacob Bell in behind.
He's got to hang the tail out and steal it with the throttle, taking some influence from Doug Hudson. Turn right to go left, so to speak, but it's not going to just turn left on its own. If you go hard enough left, you find yourself going right, huh?
And actually, look at Beckner. He's already caught up to lap traffic, 10 laps into this thing. There's a big spread in the field here. He's already caught up to the back of Bryce Senizak.
Yeah, and he has nearly 1 second lead over Casey Borgmeyer. And Casey, last time by, was still a couple hundredths off of his best time. So Travis is really setting the pace here. And now as the yellow flag comes out here, Finian.
Oh, and caution is out. Not sure who that was for. It might have been for Jacob York, but I'm not too sure.
York. Yep, it was. And that was an odd one. As the 97, it sort of got up into the fence and kind of rode it along. And right here, it goes poof into the ether. And that's what brought out the yellow.
Interesting. I saw him disappear. I thought it might have been an internet issue. Maybe he Alt F4'd and iRacing still detected him as a crash. But either way, that'll actually save a lot of drivers from going a lap down, because Bryson is like a mirror full of Travis Beckner.
Yeah, to keep everyone on the lead lap, that's good news for them, and it's good news for Beckner, honestly, because, again, no one was tracking him down, so I don't think it'll take him long to reestablish this lead. But it gives everyone a second to sort of reset also. When you see the middle of the racetrack there, how it's unused. The top and bottom are starting to slick off, and that middle groove now has a lot of loose dirt. It's almost like you're forming 2 cushions. Yeah,
and you can see a little bit, not as much, a little bit more variation in what this is turns 1 and 2. You can see right there, just as the banking starts, what little banking there is on that outside lane, a little bit of wear out on the dirt. And love the dynamic track that iRacing has for dirt racing. It makes it awesome to look at, see how the track changes overnight. But track changing conditions here from yellow back to green as Beckner is off and away once more, and Carter Coop on the attack immediately tries to push Borgmeyer up, and so he can get to the inside.
Yeah, it was a really strong restart there by Carter Coop, but he's still fighting on the bottom. So much angle, and Jake Witherspoon riding the long way around, going to gain some momentum and almost tags the 52 off into turn 1. Now Witherspoon's way up the racetrack in a different zip code here, trying to make speed.
Oh, and a big block from Carter Coop, and actually he gets into the wall. Witherspoon the over-under to the inside. He'll go in turn 1. Yeah,
that was a great savvy move there by Witherspoon. Saw that coming, slid up underneath the 52 and got the lead, or got the position back as Coop tried to cover that and move up to the outside group.
And he's still working the outside. Carter Coop trying to get things going here in the right direction, but it's going to be hard to work back around the 0-4. Big dive to the inside, though.
Yeah, it's just like the old Tom O'Gorman method of show him you're crazy. And it just up and down all over the racetrack. Carter Coop trying to pick a different line every time and keep Witherspoon guessing. I like the ingenuity here, but it isn't really gaining the 52 a lot at the moment.
Yeah, it isn't really gaining him a whole lot as he's trying to make something work here. Still working to the inside. He's pretty much around the same pace as the 0-4 and not quite able to get there. Or at least enough to really make a decent attack. He caught a little bit of the the berm on the inside. And Witherspoon's beam, yeah. Hopefully there isn't a beam. That would be bad to hit or ride against, but
yeah, yes, it would be.
Witherspoon working that outside lane. Still not quite clear of the 52 Carter Coop, but he's working that lane well. Borgmeyer working a little bit off the track, but Beckner's still on the bottom.
Yeah, Yeah, and still gaining ground, half a second, 6/10, 7/10 a second there. Again, ebbing and flowing a little bit, but just so in tune with this car, and just gets it right out sideways and just kind of dances on the edge, drives it with the throttle, and really the inside of the nose of the car is pointed to the inside of the racetrack the entire lap around here. As we get closer to the halfway point, he just looks very solid. Look at this battle a little bit deeper in the field here, all happening behind Ryan Sabot in the 10, as Senesac and Jacob Bell.
Yeah, and you see most of them on the inside. Jacob Bell working that outside lane, at least trying to work that outside lane. He's got David Weisert in the background trying to hold off Ryan Swan. David Weisert to the outside, Swan to the inside. He will get that spot. Jacob Bell actually in the wall a little bit there. A little bit of a tap. Got to watch that. Those small taps can do a lot of damage. Hitting straight concrete. No safer barrier at these tracks. Oh!
Whoop, little contact there. The 0-4 got hit. Carter Coop and Witherspoon getting at it. But Witherspoon hangs on for now, P3.
It's kind of ironic that the race control admin for most of the series is one of the most aggressive drivers on the track at the moment. Usually the one laying down the order. Right now he's out there. I mean, he's not doing a bad job. It's the little taps here and there, but it's just kind of ironic.
Yeah, got to be aggressive for sure. Up to the inside of Witherspoon is just fighting on the outside lane. Coop, again, taking every line that Witherspoon is not, which, again, I admire the ingenuity, but, again, we have not seen him move forward with that method just yet. Here comes the 10 as a little wiggle there on exit. That red and white car up top is making ground.
And you see more drivers working to that outside lane, and that's kind of showing me the track slowly evolving now as we're just over halfway, how quick these things go. Is that it's actually, I see that, but it actually looks like Witherspoon, he made the pass on him on the inside, does the over-under, and Borgmeyer the over-under on him.
Wow, this is getting pretty spicy here, isn't it? Between these two, Borgmeyer and Witherspoon. Witherspoon on the outside now, and Carter Coop on the bottom. They're getting kind of jammed up here with each other. This is fun.
Yeah, you see almost a five-way battle for second place. And meanwhile, Travis Beckner is loving this. He is 2.3 seconds up the road. Hoping these guys continue to battle. It was Witherspoon catch the wall just a little bit. It's going to slow down his progress. Borgmeyer is still ahead in this battle. But for how much longer, as Witherspoon, he might have to take a while to regather his things. Oh, as I say that, he rides the outside. A great run, but taps the wall, and that caused him to check up a bit.
Yeah, it slowed him up a bit, and also that's going to put Ryan Sabot under fire from Bryce Senesac. Senasac's on the bottom behind him. You see him there fighting on the bottom of the racetrack. So that little stack up actually slowed the outside groove, and Senesac is almost clear of Zabot, but fighting an uphill battle here.
Yeah, it's really hard to throw a dive bomb. The turn is so wide. You go almost a mile, it seems, from the inside to the outside. And so hard to secure that place because of that. As Senesac will lose out, Ryan Zabot will hold on to that spot. And Carter Coop still ahead in fourth, trying to see if he can change his fortunes and try to find some way around Witherspoon to get a top three. And actually, if he did get past, the first time I talked to Carter Coop in forever, so I'm actually kind of interested in seeing that. Either be Witherspoon or Carter Coop at this point. Borgmeyer seems to be happy in second place unless he makes a mistake, or unless Travis Beckner makes a huge mistake, but he's enjoying his lead. Look at how far he's up the road.
Yeah, and again, going back to the Witherspoon versus Coop battle, that one's pretty fierce right now. And yeah, I always forget how pretty iRacing's dirt is, man. It's been a while. Gosh, it's so whoa. But a little bit of hip and shoulder here.
Yeah, that particularly contact wasn't pretty. Door-to-door action here between Senesac and Zabot. This battle's reignited once more. Again, that just kind of hold up here with Carter Coop, who's actually able to get around Witherspoon. Witherspoon now to the inside. Bit of a switchback here and turn to 1 and 2.
Yeah, four-way fight for third, though. Contact and tags the tail of Witherspoon, sends him into the wall. Witherspoon apologizing on the radio. And felt like he might have been contributing to that. It's going to put Coop to third now, though. They're 3 wide for fourth.
Oh, hello. This is getting intense here as Bryce Senesac now trying to take advantage of Witherspoon kind of getting knocked off his momentum and his rhythm. Tries to work to the inside. Witherspoon still on the outside. 3 wide there in the middle of 1 and 2. Zabot also trying to make something out of this battle. And Carter Coop just ahead in third place.
Yeah, speed's in the middle right now. The top is pretty slicked off, and Witherspoon's lost a couple of spots. So Zabot, Senesac, and Coop all getting by. And Witherspoon fading here in the late stages of this one. And now moving back to the center of the racetrack where there's all this speed now. He's right back in this fight.
And there's always something to mention of is, you typically don't talk about it with dirt cars, but tire wear has been a big factor for these drivers all season long. And I'm wondering with Witherspoon, we saw him strong out of the gates, but now relegated back to 6th place. If he maybe pushed a little bit too hard, a little bit too early, because now he's just gotten passed by 3 competitors in pretty quick succession. But this battle's still intense here for 4th place.
Yeah, looking really fun, looking really good. But Witherspoon still fading. Senesac wants a piece of Zabot. Coop trying to hang on to third here, and he's only has to do it for another minute and a half or so because Beckner 4 seconds clear of the rest of the field, leaving no chance for anyone else to get in there. Battle is inside the top 5.
Getting very intense here. Ryan Zabot trying to see if he can poke his nose and get just inside that top 3 position. And Carter Coop still on that bottom lane. I think defensively it seems to be one of the better ways to keep that position. Oh, as Zabot tries to throw it up there, make Carter Coop check up, move him out of the lane. Couldn't quite do it.
Yeah, he gave it a shot. He's really searching around for grip. Too high, though. I think the outside line is too slicked off. You got to go middle or lower, I think. And he's going to go middle this time, chasing the 52, slightly higher than that car, but running out of laps.
Running out of laps, running out of time, and also some lap traffic up ahead. Brent Benkari in the middle of this and taking away his attacking line. There's a tire in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Not sure who that belongs to.
Probably Bryce Senesac because he has stopped. Caution's out.
Oh, no. Drama here in the last couple laps. Just as we thought this thing's going to be set, and I think it's actually already after he lost the wheel. Oh, let's see. Oh, he got into the wall. And there we go. That's how that thing got around. But let's see how he ended up in the wall. Did he have contact here? No, just struggling to rotate.
Yeah, just kind of washed up into the outside wall. Tank slapped it, and then you see Witherspoon, and that was Brian Swan getting to the back of him there at the very end of that. So that's how that happened. Dragged the car off track, but not in time for to stay green. So caution is out, and that will give us a 3-lap shootout at the end of this thing. So Travis Beckner is going to have his guard up, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's going to be kind of tough to see. You'll see Casey Borgermeyer making sneak something in. I would say he's probably one of the either him or Carter Coop are probably your best chances here, but Beckner's been very good on the restarts recently, and that's a big thing too, is timing these restarts. And I believe under 10 laps to go, we will be having a single file restart as well, so that'll be also working out in Travis Beckner's favor. Yeah,
it'll definitely help him, but sometimes I can see how that could sometimes also be a detriment too, because it allows the guy that is second, that's quickest, to be right up behind you rather than alongside you, where you can kind of put him where you want him. So we'll see how this goes. It's going to be over in 30 seconds?
Pretty much. It's going to be over very quickly here. 2 laps to go. Travis Beckner leading them back to green. Carter Coop messing up the restart a little bit. Zabot taking advantage. To the inside he will go.
But a black flag for Zabot as well. We'll see if that gets cleared or not. But behind him, contact for Coop. And again, it was just a turn down off the restart for Travis Beckner, but it has worked. And white flag is out here, Finian.
White flag in the air. Travis Beckner, a great restart, and will hold on as he works through 3 and 4. Travis Beckner, another victory to his name here at Fairbury Speedway. A car up in the wall. Ryan Swan, car destroyed, but Borgmeyer, Carter Coop will round out your top 3.
Wow, that was a big one for Ryan Swan. Drags the car across the line, finishes the race, but man, that was all on his own. And you'll see it just walk on him here. Off into turn 3 right here. Just walks up the hill, gets into the wall, rides up on top of the K-rail, and drops back down, missing the right front tire.
Right? Lightning McQueen would be proud of that. Riding the wall like that. Actually hold on to 6th place despite all the cars. We'll take a look here at your finishing results, because, oh boy, that was entertaining there at the end, especially with a 2-lap shootout. But Travis Beckner ahead of Borgmeyer and Carter Coop will be your top 3. Jake Witherspoon back in 4th. A decent recovery for him. Ryan Zabot in 5th, with Ryan Swan rounding out your top 6.
Yeah, really solid run there for Carter Coop to maintain that 3rd after that chaotic restart. Gets there by a 10th over Jake Witherspoon, the newcomer. Then David Weishart on debut, P7 for him. Lakatos 8th, Jacob Bell 9th, and Brent Benkari scores a 10th position in that number 35. So, again, it was a lap down there at the end with a couple other drivers, but pretty exciting stuff, all things considered, for that 50-lap race. Happens in a hurry, doesn't it?
Really happens in a hurry. Let me see our 2 retirees for tonight. Bryce Senesac in the 09. Unfortunately, what happened to him? Had a decent run going, a solid top 5 potentially, but unfortunately just at the last second wasn't able to make it to the finish. So unfortunate end for his night. And then even for Jacob York in the 97 too. I thought he had some pace. Thought he did have a poor qualifying effort. Actually trying to see where he qualified at. If he put a time down, he didn't put a time down. Typically has been more towards the front. Seemed like he might have had some pace tonight, but never really truly got a chance to show it off.
Yeah, certainly. And what a fun race there. And Carter Coop in particular got the elbows out, was trying all sorts of things. Wasn't going to take no for an answer for a top 5 tonight, and put himself up into 3rd at the very end.
Yeah, indeed. Actually, let's take a chance to talk with Carter Coop. And hey, Carter, it's Sim TV Booth. Got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
All right, this is awesome. I think this is the first time we got a chance to talk to you at the end of one of these races.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing to actually, one over the last couple of weeks, finish these races and now actually end up on the podium. It's been great the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and you know what? I almost want to say what kind of came over you, because you had some fantastic pace tonight, and if I'm not mistaken, this is your first top 5 finish of the season and in a 3rd place as well. How did you manage to pull that off?
Honestly, I don't know. I think something about this track just speaks to me, the way that the bottom's so flat, and then you can also run it right up against the wall, and you still got to be careful on both ends of it. But just something about this track, I've always liked it since it came out, but I didn't think I was going to be that good tonight, but, you know, we got her done. Brought her home in 3rd.
Yeah, we saw your battle with Jake Witherspoon especially got a little bit chaotic at some point. How did you manage to find a way past him? Was it a matter of just changing lines? Were you able to be fast on the top or the bottom, or did you feel the bottom was a little bit better?
Throughout the entire race, I felt like the bottom was going to be my place to be, just because as we've seen, I have a bad habit of when I get next to the wall, just tearing either the spoiler off, getting hooked in a fence, or flying out of the park. But with him, it was just kind of run where he wasn't and kind of get him out of his comfort zone and do my best to keep my speed up while doing it at the same time. And I think I got lucky. I think he bobbled at one point, and I was able just to capitalize on it, and he was fighting, I think it was Bryce and somebody else back there for a while.
All right, well, Carter, a fantastic result for you. First top 5 finish of the season and a top 3 as well. Congratulations.
Thank you, boys.
All right, and with that, we'll move on to our 2nd place finisher, Casey Borgmeyer. Casey, we saw you had a decent run tonight. Weren't quite able to touch the lead, as we saw Travis Beckner kind of heading out, but you had to do quite a bit of work to keep everyone in behind you. Carter Coop, Jake Witherspoon knocking out the door.
Yeah, it was definitely difficult. I tried to keep it as clean as possible, but, you know, sometimes you do kind of have to try to block the door a little bit. But we had a good finish. I was impressed with the run. I'd like to thank Midwest Sim Sports. They've really been helping me out, and I really enjoy their setup. So this is a fixed league if anybody's looking to join. Thank you.
Yeah, and wanted to say too, with that last second restart, because I don't think anyone was expecting a caution that late in the race, what was the plan, if there was any, to really try to get Beckner?
I knew the middle was kind of in. I just wanted to hold on to P2. Like, I didn't really think I'd get around him, but tried to hold the middle and then just see if I couldn't sneak underneath him on the bottom, and he knows what he's doing.
All right, well, Casey, congratulations on your 2nd place result and a solid finish.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, last but certainly not least, for the 7th time this season, Travis will get a chance to talk to you at the end of one of these things. And I got to say, this is probably one of your most dominant performances this season, as you led 48 of the 50 laps tonight.
I thought I led all of them.
I thought you did too. I don't even know who actually took that away from you.
Is there something bug with the scoring software? I mean,
I want to check actually and see if who else took that from you.
Wait, Kyle, you're here. How's it going, Kyle?
Hey, buddy, good to see you, man. Yeah, once in a blue moon, I'm out here for a dirt race. Why not?
Oh, all right.
I had to get rid of my polo for a T-shirt.
Awesome.
Yeah, Kyle doing mostly road racing stuff. Looking at the rest of the field, it looks like only Weiser led one lap, and then there's one mysterious lap that no one led. I want to see the pace truck led that. But either way, very dominant performance tonight. You pretty much took off and had no one else behind you.
Yeah, I mean, we were missing a bunch of our fast guys tonight, but I ain't gonna deny I like the fact that I finally had a dominant win. Maybe I could have let off the throttle a little bit. About broke my right front twice. Running the top in 3 and 4, and then bottom came back around and went to the bottom, gained another 2-3 tenths on my lap time, and just like you said, didn't look back. Green flag fell, was looking for the checkered flag until I found it. So
yeah, and also wanted to ask, what was your reaction? Unfortunately, lost the Zoom feed because I had to restart things. But what was your reaction to that last second caution? Was that a oh no moment, or did you feel confident you were able to hold 2 laps?
That was definitely an oh no moment. My exact words was like, "You gotta be kidding me." I was in the Discord card with Carter Coop and Casey Lakatis. At the same time as I was saying it, Carter was saying the same exact thing because Carter was so excited to finally get that top 3. He's been wanting to get that all season long. Happy for him. I just wish we could get more people to show up. I mean, we got a new guy today. Happy that he joined, but we just need to find a way to get more people in here. It's such a fun league.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely been a blast to broadcast for the Oldies 15 races so far this season. It's been non-stop action, but Travis, I want to congratulate you on another victory, another hard-earned victory to your name, win number 7 for you.
Thank you. Before I go, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Henry County Motorsports Park, Wilson Race Cars, Central Mobile Home Sheds and Trailers, Cosman for making this paint scheme. Of course, got to thank my grandparents before I forget. I also got to thank my dad. Y'all for taking the time out of the day to come broadcast this. I say it week in, week out, best broadcast in iRacing. My opinion, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. And looking forward to Cedar Lake next week. That's one of my better tracks. So.
All right, Travis. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, I'll be wrapping things up here from Fairbury Speedway. Kyle, your final thoughts?
Man, dirt racing's fun, man. It's nice and concise, and you get a lot of action in a short amount of time, and Travis Beckner's dominance continues, but this is what happens when you qualify well and you've practiced and put your time in. Things always turn out, I think, for drivers that put the effort in, and Travis Beckner has done just that, picks up his 7th win of the season.
Yeah, 7th win of the season, continues his dominant form, and as he alluded to, in just 1 week's time, we'll be heading on to the next stop on the calendar, Cedar Lake Speedway for the Wisconsin Nationals. That'll be on July 30th, so tune in for that. More action here from the VDRA Late Model Series, but for tonight, that'll be all here, wrapping things up from Fairbury Speedway. My name's Finny DeCuna with Kyle Heyer, not as always, but finally back once in quite a while, and we're some TV be tuning out for tonight. Thank you so much for watching.